financial sector was melting down. The auto industry was ready to go belly up. We were embroiled in 2 costly wars, and the previous administration had taken the biggest budget surplus in history and turned it into the biggest deficit in history. 2 wars, a huge tax cut, prescription drug benefits, and none of it was paid for. Well, the president took office, he rolled up his sleeves, and we've had 31 months straight of private sector job growth. We passed and the president signed a Small Business Jobs Act. $55 billion in tax relief to help small businesses grow. Wall Street reform. To make sure that we couldn't have any more of the kind of reckless behavior that got us into that financial meltdown. The president has responsibly ended 2 wars. We've got all of our troops out of Iraq now. They'll be out of Afghanistan by 2014. And you know what? This president is committed to making sure that when these veterans come home, that they get all of the services and the care that we promised them when they signed up. He's repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So no longer do you have to lie if you want to serve your country in the military. Passed the Affordable Care Act to make sure that millions of Americans can get access. And you know what? I like it that our opponents call it Obamacare, because I want everybody to remember it was President Obama who brought health care reform to this country. This president is not afraid to make tough decisions. And let's not forget that it's this president who finally brought Osama bin Laden to justice. Now, we have more work to do. We all know that. But this president has us back on the right track because he has the right values and the right vision. He knows that the American dream has always been grounded in middle-class values and middle-class prosperity, and we have to build this economy from the middle out, not from the top down. He knows that America is about opportunities for future generations, and that we need to make sure that everyone has a fair shot at success. He knows that women deserve equal pay for equal work. And he didn't have to think about it before he signed the Lilly Ledbetter Act. It was the first piece of legislation he signed. And he doesn't need a binder to appoint women. Just think about it. Who did he appoint? The top position, the top appointment that this president had when he took office, Secretary of State. president understands that health care issues for women are economic issues. That when we get access to contraceptives, if we have to pay those co-pays, that is an economic issue. And that when you deny the thousands of women who depend on Planned Parenthood for their access to health care, when you deny them that access, that is an economic issue. And when insurance companies are allowed to charge women more for our health insurance, that is an economic issue. And this president understands that students, particularly in New Hampshire, where they have the highest average debt burden in the country, that they need more from our president than just advice to shop around and ask your parents. That's why Barack Obama is going to continue to support Pell Grants and student loans and keeping the rates for student loans affordable. And this president knows that it's the private sector that creates jobs, but what the government does has a lot to do with how that happens. And that we need to support small businesses to get access to credit so they can grow and create jobs. That we need to make sure they get into international markets and that they have a level playing field so that countries like China can't come in and dump products into our market and compete with our manufacturers here at home. And this president understands that we need a balanced energy policy, but one that continues to help create markets for those new alternative sources of energy, the kind of companies that we have in New Hampshire that are springing up all over.